Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to go through two different ways of creating long shadows for either graphics that you've created or for text. So to get started, I have already opened up an acorn I made for a Skillshare class a couple of years ago. And to do the very first long shadow effect, all you need is your pen tool. Most of the time when I see long shadows, it's like the light source would be coming from that top left and the shadow is going down to that bottom right. So it is important to kind of try to visualize where the light source and shadow will be in your image. So I'm just going to follow that same exact way, and I'm going to take a point that is off of the artboard, make my first point, and then I'm going to come down to this bottom of the acorn, make a point, go over to the top of the acorn, make another point, keeping kind of that same line, make another point, and then I'm just going to connect these. And you could either do a solid color for that long shadow. You can always come in and add one for this top. So once again, with the pen tool, create the same effect as you did for that bottom. And another way of doing this, the same way obviously with the pen, is you can go to your left toolbar, click the fill tool, and we'll do linear. And this way you can kind of play around with the gradient. And I'm going to change that color on the very end and change that opacity to 0%. And then change this first color to more of a gray. And once again, you can kind of just play around with that gradient. And now you have a long shadow coming off, but it is, instead of being that solid flat, you do have the gradient instead. And you can always change the opacity of this. So that's the very first way of doing a long shadow. I'm just going to go through and delete everything. And the second way is with text. When I do these, I tend to use a very heavy font, so I'm just going to go in and switch this. So all you need to do, zoom in. You can use Z on your keyboard. Make sure you have the move or selection tool selected, which is V on your keyboard. And then you can use Option or Alt. And you just need to make a second copy down slightly and to the right. And then release, hit Command J to duplicate. And just hold on. Okay, so I'm just going to stop right there because this can be cropped. And I'm going down to the very last one in the layers panel, which is technically the very first one that you created. Just so it's easier to spot, I'm changing that color to something lighter. Right click, arrange, bring to the front. Hit Command A to select all of them, and I do not want the first one selected. So with Command, just hit that very first shape, go up to the very top toolbar and hit Add. It may take a second, but it's combining all of those into one shape. I'm going to go back to that darker color, and you have created a long shadow. And you can always crop this so that it fits a little bit better. I'm just going to select that shadow At the bottom, I just want to trim all of this out so it is flat. Select these 3 pieces and then can enlarge so that it fits this. And you can always change your document size. So those are the 2 ways of creating your long shadow in Affinity Designer. Either use the pen tool or duplicate whatever you want that shadow to be for a very long time by holding Command and J. I hope you liked the video, and as always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.